Good morning, Hopkins Community Church. I'm coming to you with a bunch of information regarding our upcoming congregational meeting and all of the things that the Consistory has been working on over the last 6 months to prepare for this meeting and prepare for the finalization of our denominational transition, some of the changes that we are proposing for Hopkins Community Church. So I made a video already about this, and it ended up being 40 minutes long, and I'm sure that you don't want to listen to me for 40 minutes about all of these things. And so instead, I'm making another video that I promise is going to be shorter, that is going to be just about connecting you with this information and maybe just breezing through a few specific things. So I'm going to share my screen here as I'm working, and we'll get going on this. So what I'm hoping that you're going to see, and I won't actually know until the video is done, is a page on our website that you cannot get to by just going on our website. What you have to do is actually type in this website. So it's hopkinscommunitychurch.net/congregational-meeting. So that's the site. I will link it to this video. I will link it in the emails. I will link it on our Facebook page and in everything that, and all the communication. So you have the link, but that's where you have to go. We don't put this on the main page because it has a lot of information, and it's really kind of an internal document. It's an internal thing. So if you call HCC home, this is for you. It's information that we want to get your way in preparation for this meeting, which is on November 13th. So here you go, this page right here, you can see congregational meeting information. There's a history section here. All of this began last December when we voted kind of informally to leave the RCA and join with the Alliance of Reformed Churches. You can see that information, what we did in last year's meeting here in the 21 congregational meeting minutes that we will actually have to approve at the 2022 congregational meeting. So some preparation information, you can read through that, and then this kind of gets to the meat and potatoes of everything that's going on. Articles of incorporation, because we are changing denominations, and the articles of incorporation that we have as a church were all about us as an entity within the RCA. We needed to change those. We are updating them. We are amending it all, and because we are also changing our name kind of officially to Hopkins Community Church, which is the name we've been using for a very long time now. It requires a congregational vote to actually make that legal. So that we're going to do that and submit that following the meeting. The second thing is a statement of faith and beliefs. Remember that we built this about 2 or 3 years ago, and we've every year we go through it and make sure that it still accurately reflects who we are as a church and what we believe as a church. This year, because of the denominational transition, we added in a whole statement on women's ordination. And you can read a little bit more about that. I think it's a really great statement. I think it's really important for us as we say in this document what we have already been living into as well, which is that we've had women elders, we've had women deacons, and we've had a woman pastor working here, and we have lived into that. So the next thing, and this is probably the biggest thing, is a bylaws update. Now, we had to update the bylaws just to scrub all of the RCA stuff out of it and all the references to the RCA Book of Church Order. As we were thinking about that and trying to rewrite the things that the RCA that were kind of given because the RCA told us we had to do it in those ways, we as the consistory started thinking about what we do. Is that the best way to do it, or is there potentially a better way to do it? And so we started dreaming about what things could look like here at HCC if we were less in the sort of RCA's consistory mindset of we have elders and deacons, and we forced them to kind of do a dual role as the consistory as well. And we broke those things down into more gifts based, where we weren't using so many people that outside of their gift set, and essentially making them spend time on things that they aren't passionate about, and they aren't gifted in, they don't really want to be doing, and then freeing them up to do the things that they feel called to do. So if you think about an example would be elders. Elders have a sort of administrative and oversight, spiritual administration and oversight of the church, but they also have a care component to them as well. And oftentimes those gifts are very different. Right? We have people who are very great intercessors, very great in the gifts of hospitality and compassion and mercy. and maybe not so great in the administrative gifts. And so when we force those two things together, what we do is we end up having people who are getting burnt out really quickly because they are having to focus a lot of their energy outside of their gifting. And so you can read through this document a little bit, but the idea is that we broke up elders and deacons, or elders and deacons, into care deacons and finance deacons, because this is the kind of the two key components of being a deacon, and then care elders and overseers, or kind of spiritual overseers of the church. These are the one that they would be overseeing curriculum, they'd be overseeing teaching, they'd be responsible for worship and things like that. And so breaking them up and using the different gifts in their different people in their gifting, and allowing people to flourish in those things too. So you can read that. What we did is we created a leadership organization document that is sort of a visual representation of what we're talking about. And then we also tried to write this out in the bylaws. And I want to just note the thing at the very bottom of this right here. It is important to note that this is a living document. We have this as an idea, and we are proposing this to the congregation as a new way of structuring our leadership, with the understanding that everything sounds good on paper, but has to be lived into in reality. And so the next year of Hopkins Community Church, part of that is going to be living into this. If indeed this passes, and the congregation is agreeable to this, that we would then spend the next year living into this and building this out. And it will be a build out. Like, it will be something that that we have to kind of work through and figure out. All of this would be kind of governed by a board of directors, which would be the sort of business end of things. The stuff that happens at the consistory level, the businessy stuff, would then go to the board of directors, and they would be the accountability piece for elders and deacons, the various versions of elders and deacons and pastors as well, and staff and stuff. So there would be a lot of living into this that would take place. But I really truly think that doing this in the way that we've kind of worked through this would actually help us to function more efficiently, and also allow for people to function in their giftings in a much more healthy and just practically good way, allowing people to use the gifts that God has given them, and not forcing them to drain their energy on places where maybe God hasn't gifted them so much. Below that, you see the budget. And all these blue things are links. So you can click on a link, and it will bring you to the budget. So you can do that for every single one of these: a statement of faith and beliefs, the proposed bylaws, this leadership organization document. There's a budget here. You can see the proposed budget for next year, and we're celebrating that the part of that budget does not include any payments for our loan at all, because we truly believe that God is going to bring us to the end of this race that we've done this year, and we're going to be debt free by the end of December. So super excited about that. More on that in a second. The slate of elders and deacons, you can see the elder and deacon nomination ballot and stuff like that. The slate of elders and deacons, because we are still functioning in our current structure, we have to go through this process again, and that bringing these elders and deacons, whoever they are, whoever God selects, will be a part of this new leadership structure build out, assuming that that passes in the congregational meeting as well. So a couple of other things too that we'll report on in the congregational meeting financial report. This is a really awesome thing. Not only have we raised $241,000 towards our debt campaign, so this is all extra right here, this right here, all extra money that we've raised this year. Praise the Lord. Like, let's just take a second and just give God glory for what he's doing. So awesome. We got a little bit more to go, and we believe that he's going to see us through. But not only have we done that, we are also ahead in our giving versus our spending, which is another amazing thing. We're underspending to our budget. You can see this right here. Our budget, if we were to spend every dollar that we budgeted through September, that's how much we would have had to spend. But this is how much we've actually spent. This is how much you at Hopkins Community Church have given in faith towards the ministry of the church here. And so we're looking at a surplus here, which is really awesome too. Let's keep that going to the end of the year, because that's always fun to redeploy that into ministry and outreach and some needed updates maybe here even to our facilities too. So Finally, information meetings. Because there's so much information, because this video is very, very, very much a broad overview of just all the information, trying to connect you with that information, we are going to have two town hall meetings, two of them. So one of them is going to happen on Sunday, October 30th. That's at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So it'll be a town hall meeting. We will present a lot of this again, but we'll do it in a little bit more detail, particularly the leadership restructure idea, the proposal that we're bringing to the congregational meeting, so that we can have some conversation around that, time for questions, and so on and so forth. And then Thursday, November 3 at 7 p.m. So both of those are open to the public. If you call Hopkins Community Church home, we encourage you to come to those meetings and just ask questions. They're going to be live streamed as well. We will live stream on YouTube only, not on Facebook. The links for that will be sent out in emails later on, and it'll be posted on our Facebook group, which is the internal group. That's the private group. The page is our public page. The group is our internal group. We'll send it out on our app and everything else too. So yeah, and then finally, things to be covered, right? Annual congregational meeting, boom, 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 boom. So many things that we're going to be talking about. We have lots to celebrate about what God has been doing, lots to celebrate about the debt campaign for Christ. We are 84% of the way done with that for the year. Super awesome. And then we'll do some updates on where we're at in the denominational transition and so on and so forth. And yeah, you can find all of this information in one packet here, the congregational meeting packet. There's also an absentee ballot. If you can't make the congregational meeting, you can vote absentee by clicking on that link there. We'll have some printed copies at church following the October 30 informational meeting. We will have printed copies as well. I would highly encourage you, if you're going to be gone, you can't make the meeting, wait to vote absentee until you've had a chance to review this stuff and pray over it. So yeah, that is all that I have as far as the stuff. Like I said, very broad overview of things. Hopefully that connects you to the information that's there. If you have any questions, you are welcome to come and talk to me. You're welcome to come and talk to any of your elders and deacons. The names of the elders and deacons are in the back of the bulletin. Your district elder and deacon are based on your last name, and you can see those district breakdowns on the back of the bulletin as well. They are all open and available to hear questions, concerns. If there are people seeking clarification, whatever you need, we're here for you. We want, as always, we want to do this in good and proper order. And we want to do this in a way where everybody understands what's happening and can come along with it. And we did this with the denominational transition. We want to do this here as well. Just bringing people on, helping people to be informed. Nothing is in the dark here. Nothing is being hidden. We want to be fully transparent about this, and we want to see an excitement for ministry here at Hopkins Community Church as we continue to move forward in faith, we continue to follow Christ, and we continue to work for his kingdom here in the greater Hopkins community. So that's all I have for you today. Blessings to you in these cold days. It's going to be warm this weekend, so that's exciting, and we will look forward to seeing you in worship on Sunday.